Medellín versus Thailand. 8 reasons why Thailand is better than Medellín for expats. That's the topic of today's video. And I'm gonna hop around the city right now of Medellín and share with you those 8 reasons why Thailand is better than Medellín for expats. And I know some of you are saying, what are you talking about in the title? You're saying Medellín is a city, Thailand is a country. I know that. But when you look at the country of Colombia, this really is probably the only city that attracts the majority of expats. I mean, Bogota a little bit, Cartagena a little bit, Cali a little bit, but by no means is it at the level of Thailand, where you probably have 4 major expat hubs: Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Phuket. So we're gonna group that into Thailand, not to mention the tier 2 cities and places in Thailand, such as Koh Samui, and the list goes on of places that are popular for expats in Thailand. Whereas in Colombia, you're looking at it. This is Medellín. They call it the city of eternal spring. I call it the city of contradictions. For example, I'm walking here in what they call Parque de las Luces. Sounds very romantic and glamorous, but in fact, it's nothing more than a bunch of concrete in a plaza with some really strange pillars that they call lights, but it's nothing more than these concrete pillars. It's almost like whoever owns the city also owns the concrete company, and they discover ways to spread their concrete all over the city of Medellín. The Medellín, 1.5 million people kind of in the center, but then if you include the outlying areas, you know, such as Envigado and Sabaneta, and you go up north to Bello, then you're talking about 4 million people. So if you want a more detailed report, you can go to my blog that I compare Medellín and Colombia to Thailand. As a matter of fact, I have a vlog where I did compare Bangkok to Bogota, but you can go and see detailed blogs on my website, theborderlessoffice.com. I should also say this vlog is a disclaimer. It's not for passport bros or digital nomads. In particular, it is for expats, guys over 40, over 50, who move to other countries outside of, say, the US to set up their home base. There is a footnote and probably a disclaimer. It really doesn't apply to an expat who maybe married a Colombian woman and now has kids here and sets up a life around her and her family. So we're gonna walk up the blocks here. I'm gonna take you to what they call the Medellín Innovation Zone to start sharing with you the 8 reasons why Thailand is better than Medellín for life as an expat. Let's get started. We're going to a place called Ruta, or the Innovation District of Medellín. I'm walking in the so-called Medellín Innovation District. You see that big orange building right there? That's what they call their center of innovation. It's called Ruta, which brings me up to the first point that Thailand is better than Medellín for expats. It's called English Proficiency. So I use this building as an example because this is supposed to be the city's flagship, kind of like startup center, attract technology and what have you. But I did enough work with them when I lived here 10 years ago to know that when you get inside, that it's just all a facade, that building. No one really speaks English, including their leadership. But what they did is they built it up, they put all the hype into it, and at one point they attracted Hewlett-Packard, one of the most valuable brands in the world, and it didn't go so well. Hewlett-Packard came here and they left. You know, one thing for business to be successful, and one reason why I say the US has a really good startup system, is because of trust. And without trust, you have nothing. When you come to Colombia, your neighbors, everyone's going to tell you, everyone's a ladrón, everyone is a thief, and to not trust anyone. The case study of Hewlett-Packard is actually a good one for those of you who ever are trying to consider doing business in Medellín as a foreigner, because what Hewlett-Packard found, regardless of how many contracts or agreements they had, they weren't worth anything. So Medellín, Colombia in general, ranks last, almost last in the world for contract enforcement, meaning if you have an agreement, it's not worth much, meaning if you ever have an issue and you try to collect, it takes forever to try to collect, and it's going to cost you a lot of money to do so. So Hewlett-Packard found out the hard way They ended up leaving. The bike station. You know, the intentions in Medellín are always good. They had planned to have this beautiful bike system, this bike station with bicycles. The intent is always good. The execution, no. They always get an A+ for intention. They get about an F- for execution. That goes with everything, almost everything in this city. So English proficiency, I think what you're gonna find when you're in Thailand, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phuket, Pattaya, and even the tier 2s, places like Koh Samui, that people speak English. There's a lot of English proficiency, whether it's the kids or going to the doctor. You're gonna find that the healthcare system is designed to accommodate expats who speak English. So you're not gonna get that in Colombia. Some doctors speak English, but a lot of them don't, which brings me up to the second reason why Thailand is better than Medellín for expats. Healthcare. From the moment you walk in, from the reception to provide really good service, and people travel from all over the world for healthcare. One might argue that some people travel here for to visit the doctor, but it's usually for a plastic surgeon. Related to healthcare is wellness. So it's just a footnote to healthcare. Another reason why Thailand is so much better for expats than Medellín. What do I mean by wellness? It's things like massage, going for acupuncture, things I need in my day to keep me active, keep me in the gym as I get older. I do a lot of massage. Guy has a pretty big dog there. You're always reminded in Medellín and Colombia in general just how there's always a cloud of danger, of security issues that you have to be aware of. Related to just how good the healthcare experience is in Thailand when you go to the doctor or the hospital, everything is designed from the moment you walk in the door. It's designed to really be friendly toward expats. They're familiar with expats, it's in English, they have systems in place. You're not gonna find that in Medellín. As a matter of fact, what I notice when I'm in Medellín and Colombia in general, there's a lot of friction points throughout the day. Whereas in Thailand, things go relatively smoothly for us. As expats, they put some thought into those who are there living as an expat to try to make the experience better. Whereas here in Colombia or Medellín, I mean, even when you go to the grocery store, they don't put any thought into making you wait 10 minutes. Is they check if the bills are counterfeit or not. I was just at the grocery store yesterday, and the checkout, I was there 10 or 15 minutes because the guy was paying his bills. He brought in a stack of bills, and she had to hold up individually, one by one, to check if they were counterfeit or not. So the overall experience day to day in Thailand, it's not perfect. A lot of times they're gonna test your patience, but they're gonna test your patience in Medellín 10 times more than what you're used to in Thailand. I'm gonna go up here, I'm gonna hop on the metro and talk about the next ways and reasons why Thailand is better than Medellín, is a place to live as an expat, and it has to do with mindset. And here we are, another point of friction. It's constant. It's constant in this city. You can tell, you can tell a lot about a city by its transit system, its mass transit system. And here we are at the so-called Medellín Metro, and the machine only takes cash. It's not cashless. And then I only had a 50, it only takes a 20. So I had to go run around for 10 minutes looking for change. He's been nice enough to help me. So we put that in there. He's gonna help me. He's been very helpful. The people of Medellín that are working for the city, they're always kind, polite, and helpful, you know? It's been nice. And then the minimum, I have to spend at least 20,000 pesos. I can't just do one ride, right? No puedo hacer un viaje, no. Necesito dos viajes. So you have to buy this. And now I have a, it's okay, receipt I don't need. Toma. But now I have a, what does that say on it? Oh, it's a special card. Muy bien, gracias. Thank you, gracias. So we're gonna hop on the metro here. And a few other observations, a few other experiences, a few other points why Thailand's better than Medellín as a place to live as an expat. I'll save it for when we get up here on the platform. You know, coming over here to the metro, I'm reminded in the surrounding streets, just the realness of danger and what the streets are like when you get outside of the bubble of, say, Poblado. You come downtown and it's just, you see people passed out on the sidewalks. A lot of desperation, a lot of just people who are probably suffering from drug addiction. It's pretty scary. And it's kind of hard to vlog, I gotta be frank with you guys. To have my camera and iPhone and stuff and a backpack out. That's why I probably feel always a little bit looking over my shoulder on this video, a little bit paranoid. I'm having a little trouble speaking because I'm always thinking at any moment I might have a thief come up and try to steal my phone or my video or my camera. So, you know, point number 4, why Thailand is better than Medellín for expats. It's a mindset, it's a sophistication. And I don't know how to put that into words exactly, except there's an ecosystem built for tourism in Thailand. It's a driver of its economy. And we know what the driver of this economy is. It's not tourism. They try to attract tourists and they do an okay job of it. But once you get here, there's just a lot of friction points. There's a cloud of danger. We know the reality of violent crime, and we know the reality as a foreigner, you're constantly being kind of observed, sometimes by the wrong people, and you always have to be guarded. Most of the people who are honest with me, expats that I talk to here in Medellín, they say they have had an issue with crime. Hola. A certain level of sophistication. Multiple things that go into that. I think one thing that really goes into it is there's a word called awareness. That's the way I would sum it up the most. In Thailand, there's just a certain level of awareness. People are, you know what it is if you know what it is, awareness. And here I feel like it's mostly oblivious. Even those that go off to go get educated in the US or some other country, they have that same aura of oblivious vibe to them, whereas in Thailand, it's more aware, and it probably has something to do with Buddhism. And then the other thing, like an example of what I'm talking about, sophistication mindset, if you get robbed here, or something bad happens to you, they blame you. There's a lot of victim blaming. It's called dar el papaya, don't give the papaya. And it's totally normal to say, if you get robbed or if you have something bad happen, it's your fault. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo va todo? ¿Usted de dónde?
De aquí en Medellín.
Eres de Medellín. Siempre, todo su vida.
Medio. Tengo también de Quito.
Quito?
Sí.
You're from Quito, your family.
Sí.
And you speak English? A little bit. What do you love about Medellín? Nada?
Nada.
¿Por qué? No? And what is your name?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Jacqueline. She says there's really nothing she likes about this city, Medellín. Okay, for the next points, number 5 and 6, gonna walk up here to the shopping center, but first, I noticed another big contradiction in Medellín. That's that behind me. What do you guys call that? A canal or a river? In Medellín, they call that a river. I'm guessing that 9 out of 10 of you guys watching call that a canal, but not in the land of seduction, the land of romanticizing. In Medellín, they call that a river. All right, next stop, going to the shopping center. Point number 5, the luxury experience. There is no match. Here we are in Medellín, and what a lot will tell you is their absolute best shopping center, Santa Fe. But it's no comparison when you look at a place like M Sphere, M Quartier, Icon, Siam, and Bangkok, or just in general in Thailand. They have the whole tourism and luxury experience, no matter if you're talking about resorts or going to an island or service in general. It's no match. In fact, though, you take this shopping center in Medellín, it's better than what you have in Bogota, but no comparison for Thailand. And that brings up point number 6. Point number 6 is food. Restaurants, cuisine, international food, no match. But don't get me wrong, I love going to my mondongos and having my Colombian food every once in a while with the avocado, lentil soup, and it tastes so good sometimes. But no match in regard to cuisine. And it's no surprise. I mean, Thailand has probably over 30, almost 40 Michelin-starred restaurants, whereas the entire Colombia has 0. In Medellín, you know, everyone keeps saying, wow, we're getting better food. And they are, but they really didn't start from a very good level of food and choices. It's a little bit better now, but no match for Thailand. All right, so next stop. Gonna head back down to the center of Medellín and take you to church and share with you the 7th and 8th reason why Thailand is better than Medellín is a place to choose to live as an expat. Reasons number 7 and 8 why Thailand is better than Medellín for expats. Taking you to the church to bring up points number 7 and 8. We're here at the church called, I think it's called Iglesia San Antonio, but I think it's the right location of why I picked Thailand over Medellín. I prefer Buddhist countries such as Taiwan, Japan, and Thailand. As I get older, I prioritize safety, and points number 7 and 8 go together. So point number 7, Thailand. It's relatively safe, peaceful, low violent crime. As a matter of fact, right now in Medellín, they say violent crime is double what it used to be when Escobar was in charge. Now, murders, of course, have dropped compared to when Escobar was in charge, but violent crime is up. So with number 7, the issue of safety and crime, violent crime in Medellín, comes women. So for number 8, the reason why Thailand is better than Medellín for expats, it's for women, because as we know, there's a big issue in Medellín with the drugging of foreigners. So guys will come here to visit, they'll meet a girl either online or at a bar, and they put drugs in their drink, and sometimes they die. Sometimes they just get robbed of everything they own that they bring with them to Medellín. That's the best case scenario. But it's no fun going out with a girl or meeting a girl wherever and constantly being reminded there's a cloud of danger that you might get drugged. And in Thailand, that just doesn't happen. It's one reason I prefer Buddhist places such as Taiwan, Japan, and Thailand over Catholic places in Latin America, because for Catholic places, the country was built on exploitation from the Spaniards, and it's in the fabric of the culture. What can we exploit? What can we extract from an individual? Whereas in Thailand, the Buddhism values are part of the upbringing. It's in the soul, it's in the heart. In karma, they believe what you put out into the world, you get back. And that happens 7 days a week. It's not just one day a week on Sunday like you have in Catholic countries in Latin America, where they go and ask for forgiveness that one day of the week, and then they go out and do bad the other 6. Not all Catholics, but it's more common in places like Medellín. And as I get ready to close this vlog out, 8 reasons why Thailand beats Medellín as a place for an expat. Yes, the women of Medellín are beautiful. They might be the most beautiful in the world. They are very, I mean, the sex appeal, the beauty, I don't know if there's any place else like it. But I'm also going to leave you with a saying from one of my closest friends that he says often, and I think it's relevant to Medellín, and that is all that glitters is not gold.